Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Saturday today, and it's 11 o'clock, and on 11 o'clock Pacific on Saturdays, I jump on and share a project with you. And today I'm going to share a project that I actually made this card for a recent challenge we had when we were doing our Creativity Abound Stamp Camp. And so this was a sketch that Sharon Burkhart created for the participants of the group. And I'll show you the card that I made. So I'm going to show you how I made it. It was pretty easy. And I'm using, because for all of my cards for that, we had three challenges for that stamp count, I used the flowering zinnia. Which you will be able to get your hands on starting on March 5th. Hi, Crystal. So I've shared this a lot. Can you tell? I absolutely love this suite. I've gone through one package of designer series paper already. I'm kind of down to the dregs of it. It is so pretty and I can't stop playing with it. And hopefully you're not getting too sick of it. So you'll be able to get your hands on this starting March 5th. If you're a demonstrator, you can order it now. And if you want to get your hands on it sooner than waiting till the 5th of March, you can sign up and become part of my team, and then you can do the pre-order. One of the most amazing and best benefits, I think, besides the discount and besides the community, this is one of the other great benefits of being a demonstrator is you can get your hands on these products at least a month early and play with them. Okay, so let's start and I will show you. Hey, Sharon. Okay, so this is the Simply Zinnia bundle that is part of the suite. So these amazing flowers that you can stamp. Hey, Pam. And then the dies. Now, I haven't played a lot with the dies where you can actually create a flower as opposed to stamping. So that's what I'm going to do on today's card. So we'll make some flowers and put some kind of sprigs behind it. It comes, the suite comes with the bundle, as well as amazing, I'll show you some of the designer series paper. This is the paper I'm using. On one side is the gorgeous zinnias, and on the other side is this really pretty purple. And then there is this gorgeous design, embossing folder. That's what I wanted to say. And you probably can't see what it looks like, but this is a piece. I punched this circle out using a 2 3/8 inch circle punch, and then I embossed it using the Zinnia embossing folder. So pretty. I know I've used that a fair amount. Let's see what else is in the suite. Well, there are these gorgeous shiny sequins. I've used up just about all of the pink ones, but I've still got some yellow, green, and kind of orangey color ones. They all coordinate. The colors in this designer series paper are so pretty. They're really bright and cheery. So this is the card that I made for Sharon's sketch. So the sketch was to have three pieces, panels behind, and then a square circle, and then I added, of course, this gorgeous flower. So let me show you how to make it. Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to make, Amanda. But let me show you how to put it together. And I just realized I don't have a piece of basic white for the inside of the card, so I'll have to finish that later, but that's okay. So I have some gorgeous grape. I've gone through a lot of gorgeous grape cardstock with perennial lavender and now this suite. I haven't used gorgeous grape so much. So it's kind of nice, actually, Stamp It Up when they bring out, hey, Kathleen, welcome. When they bring out these designer series paper, it makes you go through your cardstock and see what you actually have. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. So basically it's a half sheet of your cardstock, regardless of what size it is, cut lengthways and then scored in half. Okay, so I need to put 3 panels on my card. So I've cut 3 pieces of the designer series paper, and I cut them to be 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. And on my original card, I had them going with the flower and then this purple kind of plaid that way. I think what I'm going to do this time around, just to switch it up a little bit, is to put the flower in the middle So I just spaced these. The measurements when we had the sketch weren't on it, so you just kind of had to eyeball. And so I thought an inch and a quarter by 5 1/4 probably would give me some room to have a gap between them. And I'm just eyeballing them. So I always start, or typically, shouldn't say always, today, let's say today I'm starting with the one in the middle. Get that kind of in the middle. And then I'll put the 2 other pieces on either side. I don't measure when I make cards typically, and so I usually just try and eyeball it. And I know that's not, everybody doesn't like doing that, but I just try to eyeball it and get it pretty close to being the same distance. And you know, if it's not exactly right, people aren't going to notice it because it's so pretty. How could you notice that it was out just by a little bit? There we go. So a little bit different because I put the flower in the middle instead of on either side. Okay, so that's kind of the card base. I went ahead and just cut out a square. This is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. That's going to go in this corner. You could make it a little bit smaller, and I might actually make it 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 because it's covering up a lot of my pretty designer series paper. So let's just take just a little bit off each side. So 1/4 of an inch off each side. So this is now 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And that's going to go here. And then this circle, which is punched out using the 2 3/8 inch circle punch, will go right over top of it. And I am going to use dimensionals on both of these pieces. So we'll just put one, and because it's a fairly large piece, I will put one in the middle. Take those backings off. And I'm just going to put this down in the corner. It's kind of a shame to cover up that pretty paper. That's probably why I put the flowery paper on the outside panels when I made the original card, because now that I'm looking at it, I've covered up most of the flowery paper. Oh well, that's okay. We'll make the flower that I'm going to use the die cuts for. So this piece of the embossed cardstock, isn't that pretty? Just adds a real, just a lovely little pop of detail and texture to the card. Okay, so to make the flower, it's really actually easy. There are 2 dies. They are slightly different shapes, and I cut one out of Gorgeous Grape and one out of Highland Heather. And there are 2 other dies that will cut the middle. So you can get these kind of star. If you look at am I going to Rotterdam? When am I going to Rotterdam? I am going to Rotterdam. Fingers crossed. My husband's having some health issues at the moment, but we believe he will be okay. He's having a procedure done. Really tight on time. He's having the procedure done on March 4th, and I am leaving early in the morning on March 6th. So fingers crossed and positive thoughts that it will all go well. And I will be in Rotterdam. We get into Amsterdam on the 7th. So we'll have a little bit of time in Amsterdam for the onstage conference in Rotterdam. I'm so excited. It's been a little stressful over the last few days, just as we've been trying to sort out these medical appointments. Okay, so I've got 2 flowers cut, and I've got 2 of the centers cut out of Daffodil Delight. And then I cut, so Amanda, hopefully I will see you there. And then I've cut 2 sprigs out of Garden Green. So that's the flowers. I haven't quite figured out if there is a right way and a wrong way, like a top and a bottom, and which die is which. But for the most part, I try. There's one that's got kind of fatter, thicker petals. This one, little thicker petals than the other. So I'm just going to take my bone folder. So, and just kind of kind of curl up the petals on both so that it looks more like a 3D flower. And I'm not going hard at it because I don't want to really have them curled, and I don't want to tear them in any way. I got a dimensional. Nope. All right, there's some dimensionals. Okay, so I will use a mini dimensional, and I'm going to just put that on the back of this one. This one also has a smaller center, so that's why I kind of think it's the front. But I like I said, I don't know, and I don't know that it actually matters. So I'm just putting one on top of the other. And then the middle, which is this one here, we will pop there. And then these ones that look like little stars. So if you look at the, like I said, if you look at this flowering, this one, it's got the same kind of center, and then these little star, I guess it's kind of like stamens. I don't know if that's what they're called. I don't have a way to pop them up. So I'm just going to put just a touch of glue. She says just a touch. I don't want a lot. You watch. Oh, there we go. Be more than I wanted. Hopefully it doesn't splodge all over the place. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue and put so that I can just attach those little stars. Okay, there we go. All right, and then take, these are the minis, so maybe a couple of dimensionals if you're using the minis. If you've got, I don't seem to have any of the regular size dimensionals, so oops, I got my dimensionals. Got my dimensionals stuck to my glass mat, and of course they've come off. Luckily, the glass mat makes it easy. All right, so we're just going to put that on like that. And then I like to use glue dots to put, if I'm tucking something underneath my, a flower or something that's got dimensionals, I'll just use little glue dots. Glue on my finger. All right. And then you can just stick it on the glue dot, and then you can just kind of pick it up with your take your pick tool. Makes it easy. And tuck it underneath your flower or whatever you're doing. So now that I've got, hey Claudia, yeah, I love the purple too. Okay, so now we've got the card mostly put together. The only thing I have left to do is the inside, which I'll do afterwards, and then a sentiment. So I'm going to grab my gorgeous grape ink, and I'm going to use the thank you so much sentiment. And I'm stamping it on a scrap. So if you don't like to cut your sentiments like I do, stamp it. You can cut a piece that's about 3/4 of an inch by maybe 2, and it'd be plenty big for your sentiment. I want to cut this into so that it's into separate pieces. So I'm just going to take and cut that. And so I'm going to, what did I do on my other card? Yeah. So I'm going to take and I'm going to cut right below the thank you and not cut up into the, like that. Just kind of cut the ends like that. So there's the thank you. And we'll just cut the so much as well. And I've got the H kind of just popped up like that. And I'm going to use mini dimensionals to pop this up on my card. Sometimes I like to separate the words on my sentiments because you can kind of, sometimes you don't have a lot of room on your, after you've put your stamped image, or in this case, the flowers, you don't have a lot of room on your card. And so like this, I don't want a big kind of block, so I'm just going to take and put that on the side here. You could put it at the top if you wanted to. Now I'm going to need to pop up because I've got my circle and it's got lots of height to it because I use dimensionals on it. I need an extra dimensional, maybe two, underneath the one end of the thank you, so that it doesn't, there we go, that's not too bad. There we go. Oops, it's not very straight though. See if I can show. There we go. All right, so there is my card. Now let's put some of these gorgeous shiny sequins on. And I think I'll use, I don't know what I used on my other card, yellow. I think I'm going to use this orange one because I've got some really lovely, so the colors in this designer series paper are ones you probably haven't pulled out for a while, like pumpkin pie and melon mambo. I'm not typically, I don't use a lot of those colors, but I sure have been, including the gorgeous grapes, since I got this designer series paper because it's so pretty. Oh, good, you're working on your swaps. I have my swaps done, Amanda. I just have to put labels on the back of them, so they will be coming. So you make sure you come and find me in Rotterdam, and I will have a swap for you. All right, there we go. So there's the card. I will finish the inside, of course, and I cut a piece of the designer series paper, 3/4 of an inch by 4, and I will put that on the bottom of my the basic white cardstock for the inside of the card. All right, everybody, there you go. There is my card that I created as part of the Creativity Abound stamp camp for the challenge. I really loved how it turned out, so I hope you do too. So this week I should be more or less regular times. The only exception will be my sketch challenge on Tuesday, which is going to move until about 4:30. Thank you so much, Sharon, because I have something going on. But I think for the most part, this week is going to be, you know, regular times, kind of normal things going on. It's starting on the weekend that things are going to shift because of everything else going on. So we do have to be away. So I live in a small town, and so we're about an hour away from where my husband will have the procedure done. And so we have to go and stay the night before and the night of, and so we'll come home on Tuesday. So I expect I won't be live starting next Sunday and then through the 20th, which is when I get back from Rotterdam. But stay tuned. I'm going to be posting sketches for you, and my blogs will go live, and there'll be other things on social media. So hopefully there'll be things going on, and we'll do some posts and things from our trip to Amsterdam. Well, good. Yeah, Houston was the other option. So Houston, Texas, Rotterdam, in the Netherlands, and Melbourne, Australia. So Stampin' Up! Is doing their conference simultaneously in 3 locations around the world. And we had our choice about where we could go to or wanted to go to. So my friend Diane and Lorraine and I, who the 3 of us went to Vienna, we decided we were going to Rotterdam, and we are very excited. All right, everybody, stay tuned. I will be back. Like I said, I will be back tomorrow at 12 noon and then Tuesday with my sketch challenge. All right, everybody, have a great day. Hope you get to spend some time in your craft room. Happy stamping.